Alright, Chris and David here, and we've put together a Cannabis Day Eve 20th episode of the Maritime Medical Marijuana Show for you. Today's show is brought to you by Karma Compassion Society. At Karma Compassion, we believe people whose conditions may be treated through the use of cannabis should be able to do so without fear of discrimination, persecution, or fear of arrest. At Karma Compassion, they take care of patients from Ottawa to Halifax, and that means they help people grow, prepare, consume, and manage their medical marijuana. Before we begin, there's a couple of shout-outs I'd like to shout out about. First, of course, is MUM, Maritimers Unite for Medical Marijuana. Woof! Fantastic organization. Go check them out online, mum.ca. Become a member and become part of the solution. Also, David's site, madstories.ca, always doing some fantastic work there. He just recently released some software. If you're into organizing your computer and want to get all your cannabis-related information together and accessible, you can be part of the movement. Information sensation.
Free data for everyone.
There That's you go. And everybody can access the same info, and it's organized. It's an awesome little system. So you've talked to your doctor, and he's approved you for medical marijuana, and you're legal, but now what? You can't go talk to your doctor about how to use it. He knows nothing about it. He's lucky to even get him to sign your papers. So don't talk to him, and he'll be the first one to tell you that he knows nothing about it. And the fact that they don't want to be the gatekeepers to it in the first place. That's what we're here for. Not to gatekeep, but to give you the information you need to how to use it properly and effectively. Before we begin, I just wanted to say sorry for being gone for a bit. The show was shut down for a while for some health reasons. And there was nothing more than I wanted to do than be able to do the show. But with my Crohn's and the bad health, I had to stop. Add to that, no one else to do the show with, and things had to go on the back burner. But I'm back, and while I was kicking around, I even found David coming out of hibernation. So I brought him with me, and here we sit, joint in hand, ready and all fired up to bring you guys the news, events, ideas, and people that you and I and David are all interested in. So pack your own bowl, get yourself a joint, sit back, and let's get this episode a-crackin'. Let's talk about what's been going on here. First of all, there seems to be a bit of a crackdown on the paraphernalia and the literature in the grow shops. We're going to talk about that for a minute. The MCPAC, they had a summit just recently in Ottawa, and I'm going to do an interview with Marcel Gignac about that. Also, we're going to discuss during that the MMPR and talk about Ted Smith's organization of the 2 new protests of the MMPR.
Now, there's going to be more info on that later. So, really, the info is the second protest, and it's going to be at MP's offices again.
Just like the last one.
In the afternoon. And the date is October 1st.
October 1st at noon at your MP's offices, just like we did last time. And then there's going to be a third protest. That's going to be April 1st at noon at your MP's office.
Yeah, and this isn't an April Fool's joke. This is just the day that the government picked to take away licenses, which maybe could be an April Fool's joke.
Feels like a joke.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
But and like David said, there will be more information to follow, and of course we're going to have our gadget corner. So that being said, we're going to kick things off with our current events, and our current events, the biggest one right now is this Monday is the 18th annual Cannabis Day, July 1st, Dartmouth Commons from 1 to 5 p.m. Be there or be triangular. Okay, there's going to be music, there's going to be an open mic, so there will be people playing guitar and singing as well. There's going to be speeches given, poetry, there's going to be food, weed everywhere. It's going to be fantastic. There's probably going to be police. They always pop by, never cause a problem. You're lucky if you even notice them. That'll be the one guy sitting there with a headset on going, reading a book going, they're not doing anything, man. They're not doing anything. Anyway, that's the event. I hope to see everybody there. We're really stoked about it this year. I was out putting posters up on all the telephone poles in Halifax, Dartmouth, Cole Harbour, Westfall. I was everywhere.
Yeah. Cannabis Day goes back to like the 70s in Alberta legislature, and here in Halifax it's been, I think, 15 years maybe.
This is our 18th.
Oh yeah, geez, look at me, I'm blind.
This is our 18th. Like I said, this year it's at the Dartmouth Commons. We've been holding it there for a few years.
Yeah.
We used to hold it at the Halifax Commons, but when you're in Halifax, you can't see Halifax. From Dartmouth, you can see Halifax, and it's gorgeous. So it's the best place to be to kick back and spend a fantastic day. Now they're talking about possible rain.
Okay.
They're talking about rain. It started last night, and they're talking about it going right on through till Wednesday. So fingers crossed, okay, that doesn't happen, and hope to see everybody there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just yesterday, I was at the courthouse in Dartmouth. THCC, the Halifax Compassion Club, and Chris and Jess were in court yesterday for their charges.
Yesterday being Thursday.
Yesterday being Thursday, absolutely, because this is going out tomorrow, which is today.
That makes
just
sense.
To throw everybody off.
Yeah.
Anyway, they didn't even read the charges in the courtroom. Chris and Jess are just waiting for their disclosure and stuff. Other than that, things have been postponed till the end of August, and we'll all get together and go back to court again.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see them get a little more support, and have a few other members of either Mom or the Halifax Compassion Club show up and show them that it's not just two people out there committing crimes and doing anything. It's people that are part of a group that are trying to help each other, and
the more people that show up in courts for compassion clubs and patients and stuff, the more impression it'll make on the judge, I'm sure.
People see us coming in and out as the big group, so, and the mum shirts, and it makes a difference. People will know what we're here for. Anyway, that being said, there's also the
23rd Annual International Cannabinoid Research Society Symposium on the Cannabinoids.
Say that 10 times fast. Holy crap.
It was June 1 to the 26th, 2013, UBC campus, Vancouver, BC, Canada. The arrival is the 21st. Everything was happening from the 22nd to the 25th. The reason why we wanted to bring this to people's attention, because by the time you're watching this episode is over, is just that this is a place where continuing medical education was going on for doctors. So doctors that are around your area or who you are familiar with that do not even look at marijuana, there are continuing medical educations out there that they can be taking so that they're not ignorant to marijuana. As far as I'm concerned, it's your doctor's job to take part in continuing medical education and take care of your medical needs as you as a patient.
Exactly. That's in any job that you do, you're expected to refresh your skills, and they're fed this information, the same as the studies like the McGill studies that goes in the Canadian Medical Journal. They get the journal, they're supposed to read it.
And like it or not, the government made them the gatekeepers, so it's
like it or not, that's what it is.
I don't like it that way either. I wish the patients could just make their own medical decisions. But if you're a doctor out there, or if you're a patient with a doctor, continuing medical education, there's no excuse. He's responsible for your health, or her. That's it.
Absolutely.
So one of our bigger stories now
is the whole paraphernalia thing. Now, I don't know if you guys are watching the news or keeping track of things, but things are changing on the marijuana landscape lately. Head shops, dispensaries, and compassion clubs are finding themselves against the ropes in an all-out battle royale for the freedom of this plant. Just the other day, well, not the other day, it was January, March, May, the cops were in Winnipeg and they raided the Joint Head Shop. The RCMP's Federal Enforcement Section, with the help of Winnipeg Police and Manitoba Finance, executed search warrants at retail outlets of The Joint on St. Mary's Road, Highway, and Marion Street. The police said at a news conference Thursday that the businesses had merchandise containing images of or replicated copyright-protected images. Confiscated materials included those with images of The Simpsons, Spider-Man, Star Wars, and NHL teams. No formal charges relating to the material have been laid, and police continue to investigate under the Copyright Act. One man was arrested during the search and faces charges relating to the trafficking of marijuana. Police said they cleared upwards of 75% of the merchandise off the store shelves, with less than 10% relating to copyright infringement. The remainder falls under the category of drug paraphernalia. See, that's what I'm saying, okay? Then, not long after that, this was just, I think it was like last week, the Northern View News, the Chad Smoke Shop owner and CEO Chad Wentworth said the Prince Rupert location was shut down effective Monday, with RCMP saying they would try to have the business license revoked, and the result was 3 people losing their jobs. I imagine it's a local thing. I think we had people who didn't want us there. When you have people high up who don't want you, it can be tough. But there's no hard feelings. I don't want to be somewhere where we're not wanted. However, Wentworth said he enjoyed being in the community and would return if the RCMP and the city allowed him to reopen. Shortly after seizing thousands of pipes, bongs, and grinders from the Chad Smoke Shop, and other Prince Rupert business had been warned they could face punishment for selling similar products. Krish, the manager of Prince Rupert's Express News, who asked his last name not be used, confirmed RCMP came into Express News in the Rupert Square Mall on July 17th to inform staff of it's illegal to sell pipes and bongs in the country under Section 462.2 of the Criminal Code of Canada. Everyone who knowingly imports into Canada, exports from Canada, manufactures, promotes, or sells instruments of literature for illicit drug use is guilty of an offense. I gotta stop there, okay? Like, that makes my brain fart. As the police and local officials begin to target local retailers and stop owners over paraphernalia, soon the only place to get a pipe for medicating is going to be from crushing in the side of a pop can, okay? And we all know what that's about. I remember doing it as a little kid. You take a pop can, you do that, take something sharp, jam some holes in it, put your pot on there, light it, and in 10 years you've got Alzheimer's. Good luck. Okay, that's part of the problem. And because of stuff like that, because you're not going to be able to go to a store and buy a glass pipe, okay, or a wood pipe made from a nice hardwood that's safe, something that's not made from copper. Kids are going to go to stores and buy copper pipe and make pipes out of copper, okay, and they're going to kill themselves because they don't know. You can smoke it. Now, you can make a pipe out of an apple. We've done that before, remember? You can make a pipe out of a pumpkin, okay? The thing is, some of the stuff that you're going to use causes problems, okay? So that's just an example, and you have to be aware that these are happening. The federal government is risking the health and safety of Canadians by forcing a majority of Canadians to MacGyver their own paraphernalia.
Yeah.
We'll demonstrate something else in a bit. The pop can is one that it makes me crazy. So some things that are safest,
like a glass bong or a, inert objects.
Yeah, things that make smoking marijuana or consuming marijuana safer are going to be inaccessible now. Like, also the
literature.
I got a brain fart here. Sorry.
Yeah, even the literature is being targeted. So
things like the safest government-approved method of marijuana consumption is now out of reach. Vaporizing. Okay, that's what it's out of reach. So if you can't get the other stuff, it's paraphernalia, then you can't get vaporizers. What are you supposed to do? And that they were paying for vaporizers. Yeah. So the government was selling paraphernalia.
And this paraphernalia law, it's not like it came in a short while ago.
No, it's always been there. It's been there for 25 years.
Yeah, so, but they're cracking down on it now, which is seems to be the case for everything marijuana.
Harper.
I think
oh my God! Even literature.
I told you not to do that.
I couldn't help it because even literature, like you said, is
yeah.
being targeted. With literature being targeted, is it Stephen Harper or is it George Orwell in Fahrenheit 451? So mean, this is Canada, okay? Freedom of speech, freedom of expression. You can't be banning books. Come on now, like Harper, he's overstepping his bounds.
He has to censor it because it's so dangerous that censorship is allowed.
So, and if you can't do stuff like that, you can't read a book, or you can't make your own vaporizer easily, what are you left with besides breaking the law by owning such a dangerous piece of equipment or literature?
Well, I mean, does the government consider the show illicit material? We're promoting marijuana, and
exactly. Maybe we're part of the problem.
You know, we're not lawyers, so it's not like we can give legal advice or anything. We're not doctors, so it's not like we're technically giving, you know, legal medical advice. It's more along the lines of we're nobody talking about something that the government doesn't like, and that's what I'm afraid of.
Absolutely. No, and that is an absolute possibility. But what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to kind of segue what we were just talking about with all that. And like I said, it's really ridiculous that the stores are giving such a hard time. I've been talking to other retailers, and they've said stuff like even just ordering stuff from their suppliers is becoming difficult. Things with pictures of marijuana leaves are starting to go away.
Yeah.
So the things, if you want them, get them now, because they're going to be gone soon. All right, now we're going to talk to Marcel from MCPAC and get him on the phone. I'm going to switch the table up here. I'm going to get the phone all set up and have our interview with Amherst.
All right.
And see you guys in a second. All right, so we've got Marcel with us from the other side of the province, or across the province, and we're going to talk to Marcel about the summit that just happened in Ottawa, and what they learned and what they shared, and it's in relationship to the MMPR, and David and Marcel and I are going to talk about that. And welcome, Marcel, to the show. Nice to have you.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
All right, so Marcel,
just jump right in there.
one of the things that we got going on here is just a brief overview of what you did. The Medical Cannabis Patients Alliance Canada, like Chris was saying, hosted the Canadian Medical Cannabis Patients Summit on June 21st, 2013 in Ottawa, Ontario. And according to your info on your page, you invited lawyers, physicians, Health Canada, MMAR administrators, law enforcement officers, politicians, all in an effort to foster free and open dialogue about the laws that are coming, the MMAR that's existing and the MMPR that's coming into effect, and with the goal really of seeking reasonable and workable suggestions for a solution to our plight. So my first question to you is, did you reach your goal of seeking reasonable and workable suggestions for a solution to our plight?
Actually, I think we did. The purpose was kind of multifunctional of what we were doing. Oh, excuse me. My desk just dropped.
Careful now.
I'm back.
Ta-da!
Still hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. We had a couple of reasons for running the summit, and ideally one was to invite Health Canada, CMA, and the politicians to hear our concerns. That was one phase. Another phase was we had actually invited a couple lawyers and a few other people to be speakers, but more so to listen than to actually speak.
Mm-hmm.
And what we found is while, I mean, there's many things, as you all know, of what's going on in the works across the country, and of course the biggest one right now in regards to fighting this new proposal is the coalition to repeal.
Yes.
We've all signed up on that, and that's with John Conroy's law firm. From what we see, it's basically going to work out to be a class action suit. Our attitude was, is it really a good idea to put all of our eggs in one basket?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So what we decided to do is talk to a few other lawyers. So we started discussing with a lawyer that deals a lot with MMAR patients, explained our plight. She explained to us that what we should do is look at getting a constitutional lawyer and feeling him out. So we invited a constitutional lawyer. And that was basically the meat of it, getting those two to come on board.
Okay.
And they're definitely on board with us now.
That's awesome.
So what happened is we had a number of speakers. We had Wayne Phillips, who is a patient and a MCPAC member, actually gave a very interesting overview on the legalization or the prohibition of cannabis in Canada. And technically, when you go back through the history in the books, cannabis technically was never made illegal. So we found that rather interesting. The lawyers found that rather interesting. Another speaker that we had was a professor, Udo Schenklink. He's a professor of bioethics, and he's the editor of Bioethics. He came as more of a different take, where he explained the doctor's ethics and basically the CMA's reasoning of refusing to support the MMPR. And that was based on the clinical trials, where he claimed that there's never been any clinical trials done, which of course we disagree because we know that clinical trials have been done.
It's only been around for forever. Nobody's ever actually looked at it before.
Correct. And we also explained that the other issue is to run proper clinical trials, you have to get permission, which is never granted. All right, because of it being on the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act. So his personal feelings is that this is a kind of a ridiculous argument that we shouldn't be having because it shouldn't be on the CDSA to begin with. And that's all fine and good. But then on the other hand, he claims that ethically doctors can't support it because there aren't clinical trials. And when there are clinical trials that are shown to have some adverse reactions to cannabis.
Yeah, and you know, I kind of get the doctor's opinion on that and the CMA's opinion on that, but this is bottom-up medicine. It's not top-down medicine.
Exactly.
And the other, like, I agree. Doctors are there. They're supposed to be there for using the FDA strict controls for what their high bar is for doing medicine. But then there's no doctors coming out against polypharmacology. And there's no doctors speaking about medicines that they prescribe which aren't approved for diseases that patients have. So for me, that kind of argument from the doctors it doesn't really make sense to me.
I have no choice but to agree. I mean, I was on 27 pills a day, and there's not a medication that's actually prescribed for my condition.
Right, see? So, I get the doctor's point that the government shouldn't force doctors to be barriers. They're right about that. But it's also kind of a strange situation where they are made the gatekeepers and they're complaining about it while at the same time they do all these other things. And that's my only beef about that thing. Exactly.
That's a no-win scenario with us. I mean, and bottom line, the right answer is it shouldn't be on the CDSA because it's neither toxic nor dangerous.
There you go.
But with our current administration and the greed that keeps it illegal, we're not going to change that anytime soon. So what we need as patients is a workable program. The MMPR is not going to be workable for many of the patients. For most patients, cannabis is last resort medicine.
Exactly.
There's nothing else, and they've tried it all. These people are that sick that they're on disability pensions. Disability pension in Canada is less than $12,000 a year on the average. You can't live off of that and be expected to pay inflated prices for cannabis. So our concern was showing this to the lawyers, the fact that Health Canada's proposal says that we'll be paying $8.80 a gram, when we know that we can grow our own outdoor, organically, naturally, free of pesticides and contaminants for less than 5 cents per gram.
Exactly. When's $8 a gram. When's the last time the government came in on budget on anything, ever?
Exactly. We honestly expect that price is going to be equivalent to the street price of $10 a gram, because why not? They can get it because that's what they get on the streets.
I can see it going 12 and 15, but if you want to be an optimist, you go right ahead.
I'm just being an optimist and saying, because in all seriousness, if they're going to undercut or if they're going to overprice themselves over the street level price, then who's going to go to one of these legal dispensaries when they can get it off of the street cheaper?
I believe that.
Right? And it's the same thing, is you're going to be taking away the grow rights for 20-some thousand patients. They still need their medicine. How many do you think are going to stop growing just because the government says they can't?
Some.
More than you think with the new rules, I think. I think with the new rules and the mandatory minimums and the way they're just get you, I think a few more people are going to be a little more scared about doing it than beforehand, I think.
Yeah, but then again, it's a matter of necessity.
You're right, and that'll only last for a while before, like you said, necessity kicks in and they just go, screw this, I'm doing it.
Yeah, after you do you go for a few months back on the Oxycontins and hydromorphones, you might want to rethink breaking a law or two to save your own life.
Exactly. I mean, it's the lesser of two evils, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, Dr. Udo, and he just likes Udo because that's his name, was a really nice guy. He brought up some valid points. But the one ethical question that he could not answer was, how is it ethical for doctors in a new compassion club in Ontario that are now charging to sign licenses based on $100 per gram per day? Meaning, if I wanted my license signed by this doctor, it would cost me $3,000 every year.
Yeah, that's happened down here. Those are some of the numbers I heard getting chucked around before. It's disgusting. I mean,
it is, and it's not right.
No, I mean, I have no problem with doctors charging, okay, but no more than an administrative fee, okay? Just like if you were going to go get a physical and you got to fill out paperwork for that, or they charge you for doctor's notes now, okay? $3,000. I wouldn't give Wayne Gretzky $3,000 for his autograph.
Exactly. I don't pay for my signature. My doctor signs my forms for me, and it's a very nice agreement. He does it to save my life.
Yeah, and that's awesome that you got that, and wish more could, but like some charge, and like I said, and that's fine. But to get into the over hundreds of dollars is just.
Oh, I know.
It shouldn't even be $100. It's a signature.
But
okay?
What's going to happen is this is going to open up even more of these.
Now, I do need to throw this in there because I don't know how many people realize this, but there is nurses in the new regulations, not provincially yet, but under the federal rules, they're giving nurse practitioners the ability to sign the medical document.
Correct, and that's because of outlying areas like the Northwest Territories and Yukon, where they don't have an active doctor on standby all the time.
Okay, so that was purposely for that, I guess.
That's why they did that, and then, of course, because they do that for up north, and it's going to open it up for everybody else, but then it's up to the provincial regulations of whether or not they're going to allow that to happen.
Yeah, so, to me...
Nova Scotia, with our College of Physicians stance on cannabis being it's the sole discretion of the doctor, I can't see them being objectionable to nurse practitioners being able to sign the authorization.
Right, and the reason why I bring it up is because you do bring up the point about the doctors and how it's not really going to fix the fees for them. I think that, maybe a place like British Columbia, that might become Canada's California, where you just, instead of paying $200 to have a doctor sign your license, you spend $25 to go to a nurse practitioner clinic.
Correct.
Or, that's my hope. I'm trying to see the good in the new regulations.
If it works out that way, and
yeah,
this is what I'm afraid of. And I mean, I find very little good in the new regulations.
They took a bad program that they were supposed to fix, and they fucked it up. What we're going to do now for Gadget Corner is we're going to make a little rig here. Now I'm going to take a Pepsi bottle.
You can put it there.
No, you don't.
No.
And I've got an old bowl from a bong here. Save that. I'm going to put this together with, excuse me, David, a little bit of dryer ducting to create a smoking utensil, also known as paraphernalia, which is becoming highly illegal. So what we're going to do here is you're going to take a pair of scissors, okay, and you're going to cut this pop bottle in half. Take that same pair of scissors, you're going to cut yourself off about 2-foot piece of this tube. Okay, and you're going to need a pair of pliers to cut through the metal. Once that's done, I've already got one put together, so you'll see. What you're going to do is put the tube in the middle and tape the top to the bottom. Pretty straightforward, very easy to do. Okay. You take your pop bottle lid and a drill. We're going to jam a hole in the end here. Big enough to get your bowl through. Okay. Now, all I did to make the hole big enough is I used a smaller bit and I used a pair of scissors to route out the hole to make it big enough to get it to go in. So we have a new smoking device. I need some cannabis, and if David could reach over there and get me a bowl full, we'll demonstrate it. Now, I can't remember what this is called. I've seen these in the store.
I don't think you need a lot.
No. Anybody know what this called? This one's called?
No, I've never seen
one of
anything.
these ones. I've seen them in the store.
The audience? No.
Nobody?
No.
What? Yeah. No help from these guys. So, if you know what it's called, and you send me a message, okay, you will win a prize. That will be determined as soon as I think about it. So what I'm going to get David to do is he's going to be an accomplice here. He's going to fire this baby up, okay, and then we're going to draw back on it. That's it. And she's gone. Oh. Now it's gone. Oh.
Yeah, it's compressing on you. This is good, though. This is good.
So, we got a whole tube of smoke.
Oh, no. Oh.
And I gotta say, it's less than enjoyable with the plastic. So what that would lead me to tell you is,
It's probably giving you terrible. That's
buy one from a store. It's made with proper products that are probably heat resistant.
I don't even know why you did that. I thought, geez, why don't you just smoke some copper pipe?
Because I hate to waste the weed. Anyway, there it is.
No, there's ton. All right, all right. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Exactly.
I do not condone the actions of my host.
But there you have it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of stuff that you're going to have to watch out for is melted plastic, aluminum, copper, bad woods.
Yep.
And
this is what the government
chemicals that
wants
hold
you
it
to
together.
do. This is what the government wants you to do. Because
Well,
they know human nature. I mean, it's the government. They have to know what people are like.
And they took away the safest form, the vaporizing. So
I wonder how Dr. Robert Strang would feel about that. I mean, he's the Nova Scotia health doctor. I can't
necessity is the mother of invention.
I can't remember his title, but this is what I was trying to get to him, was that, you know, because of prohibition, patients in particular, you should take up medical marijuana as well. are doing things like this because, you know, they have no other choice because of Harper, you know. So
that being the case, we got the pot forecast is next. Last Saturday, just passed, was the first full moon in June, and it was also the super moon. That being the case, that should have been your signal that it's finally safe. If you haven't already got something out, it's finally safe. That's the Farmer Almanac. Oldest. It was always the May 2-4 long weekend or the first full moon in June. So those were the two safe dates. I've done the May 2-4 and still get spanked. So
yeah,
I try and be a little more cautious now. However, everything should be out. You should be safe. If you're still putting things out, they're going to be smaller. Just be aware. Be prepared. You got your slugs, your rabbits, your deer, your bugs, and Bigfoot. Okay? He likes to smoke weed too, so make sure that you've got your little babies protected. If you're using slug bait or copper, I mean, I've seen people use copper wire, or you can buy little scrunchy pads down at the hydro shops.
yeah,
Like a little donut around the bottom of your plant. Little cages are good for rabbits. That, or you can sprinkle around some wolf urine. You can get at the shops too. I've heard people dropping around little bits of their own dog's fur.
yeah.
Keeps other animals away too. Bugs. Keep an eye out for bugs. It's nice to spray your plants with some neem oil. You can do that. That helps. And if you're in the woods running around and the bugs are bugging you, you can spray yourself with neem oil.
I was reading. I wouldn't spray myself with this stuff, but I was reading about rhubarb because I thought maybe I could eat the leaves. Apparently they're poisonous, but what you can do is actually you'll find the recipes online. You can, you know, make a pesticide out of the leaf juice, and then you just spray it on stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Would it be safe on you or no?
I don't know what it's like topically, but if it's poisonous, I imagine just like anything.
Is it ingested or just?
Oh no, you don't spray. You don't eat it or anything.
No,
like
no,
that.
no. I mean, is it poisonous to the bugs because they
Yes.
eat it, or is it poisonous to the bugs because they get it on them?
Yeah, you're probably right there. So it's probably poisonous to the bugs because they eat it and die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why that's when you never see bugs eating rhubarb leaves. So we keep the bugs from eating you. Maybe if you put it on you. Anyway, so all that things being said, make sure that you get plenty of food and water for the babies, and make sure you are careful getting in and out of your patch wherever it may be. And nobody's watching you, and you're not leaving any tracks behind. Clean up after yourselves and don't leave all your crap in the woods. gives us all bad names. That being said, that's pretty much it for the show.
I remember during the show that just to put it out there, the CMAJ, they put out an article recently about how doctors are viewing the new system and the CMA's opinions on the new system, that kind of thing. I feel like, you know, the CMAJ article is not really educated whoever wrote it, because there's some things that they just don't talk about, like bottom-up medicine. But just letting people know that article's out there. Check it out.
Absolutely.
See what they're saying.
And also wanted to mention about the next show. Before I do that, though, a bit of a status update on Mark Emery. We could hear any day now about Mark Emery's request for transfer back to Canada, as he now has 373 days left on his U.S. prison sentence. Send him a letter, books, or magazines to Mark Emery in Yazoo City, medium security. I'll put the address down there at the bottom, or go to freemark.ca for all the details. I want to thank the Computer Tuner for providing the equipment we use to make the show possible. And thank you all for watching the show. Be nice to each other, and peace, love, and hippie shit. Take care.